All right. Well, we should probably get rolling. I know that Chad's got a few things he wants to go over, so I want to say good morning, everybody. Appreciate you coming. Hopefully everybody had a great holiday weekend. I know some people are still on vacation, so I don't know what kind of group we got today. But anyway, Chad, I'm going to turn it over to you. You've got some good stuff after last week's call. We went over Clover with Dave, touched base on a lot of things, and we've had a lot of development since then. So I think you're going to go through a couple of case studies with us today. Is that right, Chad?
Yeah. In fact, anytime we can turn around and back to back. Here we have a Clover training call last week, and then this week we can come back with some real world examples of how people are putting that knowledge to good use and making some money out of it. That's what we want to follow it up with this week. So
excellent.
So Mike is our honored guest today, and just to give people an idea of up until this point, till last Monday, Mike, how many Clovers had you sold?
Just 2. That was it. I really wasn't out there pushing it, but I've taken it since Monday, and I've sold. Prior to that, I think we've got 2, 3, 4, 5. I got probably 6 by 7 by the end of the day will be leased Clovers. And I've been in Alaska less than 2 weeks, and I've only spent a week really working on it.
So what's interesting is we've got, and I'm just going to pull out the 3 that we've got paperwork on from last week and approved. So the very first one you sold was to a brand new business, and then we also had where we did a lease to an existing customer, and then we brought on another one that was a whole new business with a conversion bonus and a lease. So 3 different business types to sell to, and you hit all 3 in 1 week. So how are you going about presenting this and getting in there? I guess since it's a little bit different for an existing customer than what it is for a new customer.
Yeah, it is. The existing customer you'll have a relationship with, obviously, and it's a little easier to open the door and make the presentation of what Clover can do for them. But it's really from a consulting standpoint. You're not going in selling merchant servicing, even though you are. Merchant servicing is part of it. You're going in, Mr. Merchant, with the ability to help you improve your business and free up your time. And your time is valuable, right? I mean, he's got no recourse but to say yes, it is. And most small business guys are in the trees running the business. They don't have time to stop. And if you can provide them more time, that's very valuable to them. And a lot of the things are, when you do the presentation, I usually go in and just, basically introduce myself, and then I will see if I can, what their needs are. Ask them a question as to how do you feel your time's being used right now? Are you spending a lot of time with reports, inventories, things like that? And the answer is going to be yes. And, lead them that way and tell them you can help them with it. And then I take
Mike,
out.
Let me ask you real quick before you go to the next concept on this deal. Because you brought up exactly, how we want to do it, how we want to go about it. What was the thing? Was there one thing in particular to go, yes, I do want to save time. Yes, I need something else. What was the one program, or what was it about the clothing that went, man, I could really use that? What was it? Was it an inventory management, a time card thing, a combination? What was it?
It's a combination of everything they have to do, but usually a lot of times when you're walking in, they're trying to do hours for payroll. They're trying to do inventory control. They're trying to do look at what they need to order. They're trying to, use the management tools that Clover provides, but they're doing it manually. Or they've got a cash register with a till. And, if it's a bar business, they don't know how many shots they've served today or what they have exactly in inventory, and if anything's been, given out free or whatever you want to say. And the thing is, most people, when you walk in, will say to you, if you mention credit card processing, they're going to say, I got 20 guys calling me, get out, okay? If you walk in and you say, how you doing today, and try to get a rapport with them before you tell them what you're there to show them, okay? Get them to like you. I mean, look around on the wall, look around in the business, and find out what they do. If it's a sports bar, then obviously it's hockey, basketball, baseball, whatever. They might have a favorite team. Ask them what their favorite team is, you know. Open up the rapport so they see that you're likable. And then, you know, go in and say, hey, if I could save you some of your time on managing the business and, you know, reduce your efforts by 90%, and, you know, and all you got to do is a touch of a button here, and I've got something I'd like to show you. That's all. Basically,
was there any one product that they went, oh, yeah, that's what I need exactly? Like, was there any one thing with it?
Yep. If you go into the bars, you're going to see it's basically going to be both inventory but the ability to run a tab, okay? And you want to use the Mini Clover if you're running a tab because it allows you to swipe the individual's credit card, give it back to them, then you run the tab. And if they walk out and leave, you still can cash them out. Where most places up here, they take the credit card and they keep it. Now, you can't do that with the full Clover, by the way. So you want to run the Mini at the bar end of it, and you want to run the full Clover in a restaurant. But right now, it's wide open, okay? And I'm not just saying here in Alaska. It's wide open in lower 48. Even if they have current POS system, a lot of them are outdated. I mean, I went into one that has Peachtree over here. Chad knows what I'm talking about. And they got to replace it. It doesn't do what they want it to do. And it's a big, cumbersome unit. You have a nice-looking unit, touch screen, and when you get down to, you know, price or leasing, you do it at the end, okay? And what I tend to do is I'll explain to them you know, what the costs are to them, and I'll also explain to them the leasing agreement. And it's nice to lease. I mean, you get a 1-year Clover warranty on it if you buy it. If something happens after that, you got to rebuy it. And the other thing is, with the technology today, okay, who knows? 4 years from now, you're going to be doing something different they're going to have out there, and you're going to want it. It's probably cheaper for you to lease it. You don't tie up that much money up front. And, you know, it's simple. And, you know, here it is. And I lay it out for them, what I'm going to, you know, what the charge is for leasing and the monthly fees. And if you work combining the PC Clover full up with a Mini on a bar or in a restaurant in a bar or whatever, you know, you're saving them a $39 monthly fee. You can sell it, you combine the fees for $39. There's a lot of guys going out there saying, I'll sell you the Clover full up for, say, $1,200, but they're charging them $80 or $100 on the monthly fee. So they're making it up on the monthly fee. Okay, guys? And keep that in mind. So,
excellent.
Go ahead.
All right, so the first,
one more thing,
the one
Chad,
you had the conversion bonus on, what, dollars?
Yeah.
So that on that account, you're going to make over $1,000 between conversion bonus and lease.
Yeah.
You're over $900 on a lease to an existing client.
Right.
Which is what, a bar and grill.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
a restaurant.
the other one you sold, and you're going to still make another $325 on equipment commission. So,
right.
Just for last week, you made over $2,300. All on Clover.
Right. The other thing is that I do, and you guys can, I don't know how you do it, but get the link that Chad's got there. He sent to me, but use that link on your laptop. Once you get them to the point where they'll take a look at the laptop, you got them. You can close them at that point. Mm-hmm. And I generally can get in front of 7 to 10 merchants, and I can get 7 of them to look at that right there and then. And the nice thing about it, instead of being a 2-stop close, a lot of times this is 1 stop, and you've got the lease agreement in your hand when you walk out the door. So that's the difference. And that's on, you know, accounts that I've never talked to the individual before in my life. They're brand new accounts. So the other thing I do, just so you know, I take at the end of the day here. It gets dark at 11:43 at night. Okay, and I'm usually getting done at 9 because Chad knows I tend to talk to him late, and he's ready to go to bed with his, you know, put his kids to sleep, and his wife's wondering probably what is Mike doing, and but anyway, I send out I make a point, if I can't I can't speak with the owner or I can't speak with the person that makes a decision, and that's the key. I try to get their email address so I can email them, and I have an email that I send out with the link, and I'll say right in there at the end that I will follow up within 7 days with you to see if we can discuss this further. And I send an email right in, and I'll send out 20 or 25 a night. Okay? So right now in Alaska, we have a lot of daylight, so I'm pushing pretty hard because when winter hits up here, things tend to slow down. Okay? It's a little different up here.
Excellent.
Hey, Mike, this is John Eliason. I've got a quick question for you.
Sure.
So where are you prospecting? Where are these guys obviously the ones that you're writing to your clients.
Go ahead. I can hardly hear you. Speak up.
The new ones, the guys that you do not know, that you've never met, how are you finding these? How are you prospecting?
I walk in the door. I walk right in the door, shake their hand, and see if they've got a minute just to meet with me. But basically when I walk in, I try to, bring up small talk or bring up something so they let their guard down, because everybody, when you walk in with a briefcase on and a card in your hand, are going to think, these guy's here to sell something, let's get rid of them.
Right. So what do you say? Run me through, if you would, if I'm one of those guys. And obviously It's going to depend based on what I'm doing and what kind of store, but do you go to every sort of business, or are you being a little more selective in targeting particular business types?
With the PC Clover right now, the way it is, I would hit every restaurant. I would hit every retail shop. I don't walk by anybody. I try to make sure that if I can meet with the person who's the decision maker, or I walk in and he's there, I try to make it, for example, if you're going in a restaurant, you don't want to walk in at noontime or first thing in the morning, especially if you're serving breakfast or lunch or whatever. The time for a restaurant is between 2 and 3. Okay.
Right. So let's say I'm a whatever sort of business. Tell me what kind of business, and then let's say since you brought up your restaurant.
Let's say you're a restaurant or a bar and a grill and tap. I'll walk in and introduce myself and say, geez, I was wondering if the owner or manager is here, or is that yourself, or who would that be? And they'll say either just a minute, I'll get them, or they'll say, hi, I'm John so-and-so. And basically I just go in and say, just wanted to see how your day's going, and if you had a few minutes just to chat with me, I might have something you're interested in here. Or I should say, I have something I think you're interested in, and I'd like to show you. It takes about 15 minutes, and this is something that can help you with your business. And I see you either have a current POS system, or I see you have a cash register sitting over there, and you're doing everything by hand. Obviously, it's probably taking a lot of time if you're doing it by hand, all your reports and everything else. And they're going to agree with you. They're going to say, yeah, well, I have something I'd like to show you that might help you out. And they're either going to say, I can't do it right now, and then you basically come right back and say, well, when would be a good time for you? And that's, you lead them into the answer as best you can. And then once they open up and say, okay, go ahead and set up and show me, in most of these merchants, if you see a cash register on a restaurant, or you see an older POS system, I've even gone in against Micros up here, and I've got a client in September that's going to switch from Micros to us, okay? And Micros has a little more than what Clover offers, but there's fees and there's other costs associated with it that you can do. Clover's got it right now. And if you guys go out there, I'm rather excited about it because I think it's the right thing for our business right now. I wish I had it 4 years ago. And basically, once you get them to look at the tutorial or look at the video, it'll sell him, okay? And he's going to have questions after the video's over. And as he goes, you answer his questions, or if you can't, you have a 1-800 number you can call and get the answers, or you call your AD. And
so do you find any particular apps, let's say in this bar or restaurant scenario?
Oh, I tell them there's over 400 apps on this thing, and there's apps that you can do everything. It works in the cloud. I go into, it's not huge. It's a small touch screen. It's efficient. Doesn't take up much space, especially in a bar or in a restaurant. You can't, you don't have that much space. You're utilizing everything you can. And I also explain to them that, this allows you to have a kitchen printer in the back. We can hardwire it to your router, and basically when you put the order in, when the waiter punches the order in, we can send the food order right into the kitchen, and we send the bar order over to the other printer over there, and everything's being done. You don't have to walk things through. You don't have slips. You don't have everything you gotta write. All the way down, and they like it. Kitchen printer they can read. They can't read the handwriting by every waiter.
True.
Especially if there's.
So what's something that you run into, or what's something that the way you go about it, it's pretty slick. Like you said, it's often a one call close, and a lot of guys who are selling things, I would imagine they're wondering, well, how in God's green earth does he really do that? Because and I agree. I think all of us, or most of us on the call here today that have sold a lot of stuff, do it the same way. You want to get in, you want to touch it these number of times, give the greatest value, make the greatest amount of money, and then keep going. So what are some things have you always been like that, or is this something that occurred to you that's like, man, I don't have to do this twice. I can go and take care of the whole thing.
Well, basically, I'm having a hard time hearing you, but I'll go ahead here. I think I know what you want. I try to read what the merchant is saying and sell. A big part of selling, actually, and I struggle with this, and I don't mind telling you that. I have to listen, okay? And I have to catch the key phrases that he really wants, because somewhere in his question, he's going to bring up what is really bugging him and what he really likes. I mean, when you walk into a bar, I got to tell you, the number one thing the bar likes is the ability to run a tab, okay, and not have to hold a credit card or not worry about the guy walking out, okay, without paying it. And a bar gets busy, especially when there's a band and you've got a lot of people in there. That's a big plus. These other micros and the rest of them don't do that. They hold the credit card. Peachtree doesn't do it. Okay? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of pluses to the Clover. And read the merchant. Read what he's telling you, because in somewheres when he speaks, he is going to tell you what he would like to see in his next POS system that he doesn't have right now. He's going to tell you. And when he does, you close the deal. Okay? In all honesty. That's what I do. So.
Good. Thank you.
Okay.
Mike, when in the conversation do you get to merchant services? I
don't.
Okay.
I do it at the end. I do it after I've got them looking at the lease agreement to sign it. And I'm an advocate of the lease agreement because obviously we can make more money, guys, okay? And we get the money up front. If they're going to buy it and they're insisting on it, buying it, you don't push them towards the lease agreement. You just lead them in that direction where you can.
Sure.
And then at the end they say, okay, can I have my current merchant service you're going to provide it? No, we can take care of that for you, and we'll match what you're doing right now, or if we can beat it, we'll beat it. It's sold. Sign right here.
Yeah,
great.
That's a nice way
All
to
right,
do it.
I'm serious. I mean, guys, 90% of doing this is people skills. And if you read the guy, you can close every deal you walk into if you take your time and read what he's saying. Don't miss a word that merchant's saying. All right, and answer his questions right then and there on the spot. Small business people, they don't want to call on the phone and have to get an answering machine and a menu to go through. They want to be able to get an answer. And when you're up there selling and you're there doing it, I mean, if you don't know the answer to the question, don't mislead them. Pick up your phone and dial your AD or call your 1-800 number to PC Clover and ask the question right then and there and answer it. And if you do that, they're looking at, wow, this guy wants to service me. This guy's really getting to the bottom of it. He's not telling me he's coming back. Answer him right there in front. And what's the worst they're going to say? No, I'm not ready. Well, you're not ready. If we can do this for you, and we're saving you all that time and effort that you're putting in right now, plus it's going to be less expensive for you to go this way. It's a no-brainer. I mean,
can I ask a question if I can?
Sure, go ahead.
Good morning. This is Emilio in Florida. Do you know if the Clover is a good fit for a dry cleaning business?
Yeah, you could use it. They have the Clover will allow you to have a database that like I've got a pet supply down here that does grooming and it does nails and it does all kinds of things. And the Clover has apps in there that will allow you to go in. They can get a scheduling app so they can schedule all their appointments. They can get it done. They also have the ability to build a database, okay? And LaserPrint's going to build a database. So she can send emails out to all their customers and tell them, hey, we've got this going. This is a new special, okay? We also, there's apps for gift cards. There's apps for everything. Just, don't worry about the technical end of it and worry more about what this is going to do for Mr. Merchant and what apps apply to Mr. Merchant, okay? And there's others in there, and they're building new ones all the time. And it's going to be simple. And, we got 24/7 support. We even got help to get this up, okay? And when this hardware arrives and the package arrives, we'll get a 1-800 number for you. You call it. They'll walk you through setting it up and getting it going.
Very nice. Are there any other questions for Mike? Excellent. Chad, anything else you want to add to that?
I think Mike really kind of hit all the bases of hitting it as it's a consultative sale. Listen to the merchant, find out what's important to him, and then lead him into the direction he wants to go, where fix the problems that they're having rather than try to pitch what you think they might like. Listen to what they have to say.
Exactly.
You ask the right questions. It's fun. You ask the right discovery. Get them to realize that, of course, I don't want to write everything down. I don't want to spend hours doing inventory. I don't want to do these things. If I had something, if I can show you something that would eliminate you having to spend that kind of time, that'd be beneficial, wouldn't it? Well, of course it would. What do you got? I love the process, Mike. I appreciate you coming and sharing that story. And obviously, when I was kind of totaling up the dollars and cents for you last week, and a $2,200 lead plus whatever you're going to get in residuals off those accounts on a monthly basis, that's how a guy makes a good living in this business, and just figuring out the system and doing that. So are there any other questions for Mike, or any other questions, hurdles, things that we can touch base on before we part our ways today? No?
Mike,
that's all.
this is Cam. This is Cam again, and I was just wondering if you the questions that you've got, are there any pat questions that will pretty much be a universal thing when you're walking in the door?
Yeah, the number one thing that these merchants that want, and believe me, they are so busy in the forest trying to run their business, they're not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, they're buried. I mean, I sat with, I'll give you an example. I got one customer that's going to bring on the Clover, but it's going to be late in October over here in Seward. She's so buried. We had an appointment with a meeting, and it was probably interrupted 10 times while I was in there trying to speak with her. And I got to the point where I got her to sit down and actually look at the link and the video on the Clover. She liked it. She wants to do it, but she doesn't have time to do it. And I said, you know what? If you do it now, I said, we can free up that time and we can go to dinner, or we can go out and I'll buy you a cup of coffee, whatever you want, because you're going to have the time. Okay? It's time, guys. It's all about them being tied up for too long. It's time. It's going to help them also control the inventories and control the other stuff, because I got a count here in right down the road. She's got 2 liquor stores, and every month on the 1st to the 3rd, she's tied up for 10 hours a day between doing the inventory on the liquor and reordering and doing everything in the 2 liquor stores. And I'm going in to see her later on Wednesday, and I'm sure she's gonna take it. She's right to hear, because when you see these people, you're seeing time. They don't have the time to run their business. They're too busy trying to just keep them afloat, keep the cash flow going, and keep their hands around their business. They can't do it. All right? Businesses got so complicated today that all the reporting methods and everything, and get your cash flow and get your sales reports in and get your hourly paid, you can't do it without a point of sale once you get to a certain point. You just can't do it. Okay?
Well, now you can.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, now you can. And, if you've ever run a deal or been involved with something like that where you're running that hard, these guys are stressed out. So you're bringing something to the table that, imagine what a merchant or even yourself, I mean, if you're out there jamming it and you're working hard, have you ever said to yourself, God, I wish there was just, a few more hours in the day? We'll move to last week. There's like 80 hours in one day, so you can deal with it there. But think about that. I mean, it's like, look, there's just not enough time in the day to get everything done. Let me help you free up some of your time. What's that worth to you, not only for your business and growing your business, but what's that worth to you personally, mentally, health-wise? So you're bringing a lot of great things to the table, and you're right. I mean, the Clover's been a wonderful thing, and we're definitely getting a lot of traction with it. So, bring that to the table for your customer. You owe it to them to bring them the best value possible. And I think in probably 90+% of the situations out there, the Clover's definitely applicable, and it is the best value for the merchant. So, anyway, Mike, I want to thank you. I love the input, man. Definitely love the input. We appreciate that. Next time, same time next week, let's get out. Let's have a great Clover week. It's the first week after the holiday. People are getting back at it. So thank you all for your time today. Have a great week, everybody.